This is another episode where the flashbacks work differently than usual, so I'll be going chronologically again. Locke tells Charlie and Hurley about Echo and says they need to work together to keep it a secret for now. So what exactly made you want to let them specifically in on it? I'm honestly curious. Then Desmond runs off and saves Claire from drowning in the ocean despite Sun saying she was going for a walk. That is some epic survival fail there. And you just know Charlie is a bit suspicious that the CPR is actually Desmond making a move on her. And sure enough, Charlie acts like a jealous asshole when Claire tries to thank Desmond. Shut up, Charlie. Hurley tells him about Desmond predicting the future, and Charlie is suddenly determined to figure out what's really going on. Hurley points out Desmond might already know about it, so Charlie decides to get him drunk. Except Desmond replies he's sworn off alcohol for a while.
Too good for his brother.
Shut up, Charlie. You do realize you're now pushing booze on a guy who's trying to recover, which as a drug addict yourself you should know is a very, very bad thing to do. But Desmond caves upon being told it's a kind of whiskey called McCutcheon, and we cut to them all plastered. And then it's time for Charlie's brilliant plan that he made such a big deal of, which turns out to be asking Desmond what happened. Quick as a cow, this one.
I know how you're doing what it is you're doing, but I know a coward when I see one.
Shut up, Charlie. Oh hey, thanks Desmond. This leads us into a flashback to the end of Season 2, where we'll be spending most of the rest of the episode. After turning the key, that's the one that even these writers were smart enough to actually call a key, Desmond is transported back to 1996, when he and Penny first moved in together and his memory is reset too. And there's a quite embarrassing number of attempts to fake us out. He wakes up looking like he's covered in blood when it's actually paint, the microwave makes the exact same sound as the timer from the Swan, Widmore gets a package numbered 815 when Desmond arrives to see him, and there's a painting of a polar bear in Widmore's office. Yeah, we get it. Weird stuff is happening. The time travel kinda gave it away. There's a long scene with Widmore that really serves no purpose except reminding us of what an asshole he is, and also explaining Desmond's reaction to the McCutcheon booze, and then he runs into Charlie on the street, which gives him his memory back. So what was the point of him losing it exactly? We already knew Widmore was an asshole after all. Oh my god, it's the show's version of Megamorphs 1. Desmond talks to his physicist friend about time travel, but then he's wrong about what will happen in the soccer game on TV, so he starts thinking this is all in his head. And what follows is a really great scene between him and Penny that reminds us of just how much better this relationship is than any of the triangle nonsense the show prefers to focus on.
Let me take you out tomorrow. Let's go for lobsters on the pier. My treat.
I don't think my failure to impress your father has any occasion to celebrate.
Well, the occasion is I love you.
See, I'd usually just groan at an exchange like that, but with these two, it just works. Desmond goes to buy an engagement ring, but then the woman selling it, Eloise Hawking, tells him that he's not supposed to actually buy it, as this will lead to Penny breaking up with him and start the chain of events that lead him to the island. Now, it will later be revealed that Eloise is one of the others, but that still explains nothing about how she knows all this. To convince Desmond she's telling the truth, Eloise points out a man who then dies in a construction accident and says that some things are fated to happen and the universe will make them happen no matter how much anyone tries to stop it. Now that right there is a great use of the fate versus free will thing that the show is in love with, much better than just seeing Jack and Locke arguing about destiny for the umpteenth time. Although it does make one wonder why she's so insistent about making Desmond go to the island when her very words mean it's going to happen no matter what anyone does. And she says that pushing the key is the only great thing he'll ever do. What, you don't count saving the entire freaking island by putting a rock in a hole and being the catalyst for everyone to meet again in the afterlife? Yeah, those were stupid, but I still don't see how pushing this thing for 3 years tops them. Desmond and Penny get a picture taken, which is kind of an awkward moment because it's supposed to be the picture he had in the Swan, but it's noticeably different. Though the following scene makes up for this, as not being able to pay for the picture himself makes Desmond realize that the relationship can't work now, and it's a very emotional moment, and earned. Desmond goes to get drunk when he sees the soccer game he predicted before and realizes he was just off by a night and actually has traveled back in time. Except then he gets whacked on the head and wakes up back on the island. And boy, the scene where he finds the picture and begs for another chance to go back is hard to watch. The story's true hero all the way through. This brings us back to the present where Desmond gives his big reveal. Both his saving Claire and the lightning rod a few episodes ago were about saving Charlie, but now he realizes the truth of what Eloise said. The universe wants Charlie dead and it's going to happen no matter what Desmond tries to do about it. I'll try to contain my horror at this.
You're gonna die, Charlie.
My score for Flashes Before Your Eyes is 10 out of 10. Desmond and Penny's relationship is once again far more effective than any other on the show save Jin and Sons, and putting the focus entirely on Desmond's trip to the past really lets us dig into that at the same time that a genuinely interesting twist to the show's fate versus free will conceit is introduced. Plus, how can you not love an episode that promises Charlie will die soon? To quote someone better at this than me, "Too good for him, I see."